Hey y'all, Chris here from Front Sight. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about and answer some questions over the past several years that I've received since I became a firearms instructor over 12 years ago. A lot of the questions I get specifically are, what's the best firearm to carry for an everyday carry? What caliber? How should I carry said firearm? What type of ammunition should I use? Where should I go buy the ammunition? Where should I go buy the gun? I'm going to focus on one or two of these questions specifically today and kind of go into the why behind it. A lot of times, if you go to a gun store and you say, I really don't know what I want to buy, what should I get? Some gun stores will lead you down the road to buy a pretty expensive firearm. One that you may not be able to carry that well, and also one that may not fit your ergonomics or your lifestyle. So you really have to do some research prior to going in there to buying a firearm. It's a little bit more detailed than even buying a car. A lot of times you go to a car dealership and you say, I want something fast, or I want something sleek, or I want something that can carry a lot of weight. Well, here with a firearm, there's nothing more personal than purchasing a firearm. So, first question, what kind of gun should I buy? Well, there's a magic answer. You want to know what it is?
I knew you'd say that.
Hey, wait a second. What are you doing?
Grenade!
I'm still waiting on that gun, just like I'm still waiting on my flying car, Hollywood. Thanks a lot. The best gun that you can purchase on the market today is whichever one works best for your lifestyle. I know. It's probably not the answer you were looking for, but it's the truth. At the end of the day, what works best for your lifestyle is the one that's going to work best for you in general. So what question should you ask? Well, make and model and size of the firearm. Also, caliber of the firearm. Then, how do you plan on carrying that firearm? Right? So let's start with make, model, and size. If you're going to carry something, you need to carry something that fits your body type. You don't want to carry a Desert Eagle inside the waistband if you weigh 115 pounds. In fact, you probably don't want to carry a Desert Eagle in general. I don't know. But let's just say you pick a firearm, whether it be Glock, SIG, H&K, FN, whatever. Pick one that is the right size for you as well. You don't want a full-size gun if you plan on carrying inside the waistband. You may want something a little smaller. If you want something to conceal, you definitely need something a little bit smaller than a full-size pistol. Now, on duty in the police world, I carry a Glock 21. It's the largest frame pistol that Glock makes, the largest caliber. Not good for carrying concealed. Even the 45 caliber Glock 30 is not good for carrying concealed. Okay, it is not comfortable. So, what is a good firearm to carry? Well, go to the gun store, pick out a couple you think you might like, and a couple you think might fit for your body type. Then go home. I know it's going to be hard. You're going to want to buy that gun right then and there. Trust me, I know that's what gets a lot of us firearm guys in trouble, right? Go home, research them. Figure out which one works best for you. Watch videos on YouTube or Rumble or wherever you can find videos of people shooting. You don't need a competition gun that basically suits itself. You don't need a Staccato. Unless Staccato wants to sponsor me, then I'm 100% behind getting one. But get something that's easy for you to use, easy to carry, and easy for you to manipulate when the time comes. So, get something smaller that you can conceal, and you'll be fine. There's several different options out there. Glock makes really good ones. SIG. I love my Shadow systems. I also love my Glock, but I also love my SIG. So it all depends on what day and what I'm wearing dictates what I'm going to carry. That being said, if you're going to carry concealed, you may not want to wear those skinny jeans and that tight muscle shirt. Okay? people are going to think that you might have a growth. Now, if you can open carry in your state, which a lot of states are going to, that is an option. And yes, that does give you the opportunity to carry whatever handgun you want to carry. But my personal point of view, I think open carry can be dangerous because you just pointed out to everybody that you are carrying a firearm. And that makes you a target to someone that might do ill will to the people around you. So just be careful. Keep your head on a swivel. So the next thing I want to talk about is caliber. What's the right caliber? Obviously, we talked about the 50 cal, probably not the right carry caliber for you. Now, a lot of people, especially smaller framed people or females, will typically go with a 380. Now, a 380 is a very, very small caliber. I personally don't believe it has a whole lot of knockdown or stopping power, and that's what you're looking for in a firearm and a caliber. So I would suggest at the minimum, go with a 9mm. 9mm is typically one of the most popular carry rounds out there. So I'll probably start with that. So now the question comes, how should I carry this firearm? Well, you need a holster, first of all. You would think that I don't need to say that, but I do. Because a lot of people will walk around the streets of wherever and just put a gun in their pocket or slide it in their pants, in their waistband. And there's nothing more dangerous than somebody carrying a loaded weapon with one in the chamber without a holster. You're just asking for trouble. So find a good holster. Leather holsters are pretty good. The problem with that is sometimes they will lose their rigidity and lose their retention. Kydex holsters are great, but the downside to Kydex is sometimes they're uncomfortable. Now, that's inside the waistband or outside the waistband. Where do you want to carry? Do you want to carry inside or outside the waistband, on your person itself, or do you want to carry on your ankle? The answer to that question is wherever you can get to that firearm the fastest or most efficient when the time comes. So make that decision. Train with a lot of different positions. Train apex carry or appendix carry. Train at the 3 or 4 o'clock position or the 8 or 9 position for you lefties, right? And see which one works best for you. Then pick a second spot and train that as well. So you have multiple spots to carry and be proficient at. But also, depending on the type of firearm, you may not want to carry appendix carry, especially if it is a full-size firearm. I have seen an individual carry a full-size 1911 A1, the para-ordnance one from like 1911, in their appendix carry right in the front. He's never felt that much power between his legs before in his life.
Get off the nuclear warhead.
All right, just wanted to feel the power between my legs, brother.
But keep in mind, you're going to have to sit down, move around, walk around with that firearm in whatever position you put it in. So find a place that's comfortable and carry that way. If you want to carry in a bag, whether it be a backpack or some type of satchel or one of the fanny packs or a tactical fanny pack or a purse or a MERS, if that's a thing, there's a lot of options out there. The only issue with carrying in bags is if you carry in a bag of some sort, you got to make sure it stays on your person, or at least within eyesight of wherever you are at all times. Because the last thing you ever want is for someone to pick up your bag and walk off with it when you're not paying attention. Talk about ruining your day. So do yourself a favor. If you're carrying a bag, keep it on you. The other problem, especially if you're a female and you carry with a purse and someone tries to purse snatch you, it makes it very difficult to get to that firearm if you're fighting over the bag. So do yourself a favor and find a better way to carry that firearm. Also, even if you do carry in a purse or a bag of some sort, keep it in a holster. The last thing you want is something getting inside that trigger guard and pressing the trigger. We don't need that. So be careful. The last thing I'm going to say about carrying a firearm is know the law. If you're not familiar with what the law is in your state or your area, do some research. Figure it out. Does your state allow open carry? South Carolina does. Do you have to have a permit to carry concealed? Most places do. If you have to have a permit and you do have a permit, Know those places you're allowed to carry and not allowed to carry. The last thing I'll say is this. I hope and pray none of you ever have to say the words, "If only I was prepared." At the end of the day, you're only going to be as good as the level of training you received. If you've never trained, you will never rise to the occasion. You will only ever default to your highest level of training. And you only default to that training if it was consistent. So do yourself a favor, train, become proficient, and maintain proficiency. Carrying and shooting a firearm is a perishable skill. And while some of you may have 20, 30, 40, 50 years of experience carrying a firearm, if you don't train with it, you're still going to forget. What your mind might remember, your fingers forget that feeling. So keep training, keep working on it, and don't ever have to say the words, "Had I only trained harder." Thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us for more. I'll put all the links down in below because I can't remember how to say all of them anyway. And I hope to see you all again on the next episode. Welcome to the revolution. Welcome to Front Sight.